So at the end of my last video, I mentioned that we are all called to be saints, and when I thought about that more today, it kind of seems like a tall order. When we think about it, we're really normal people with really normal lives. We don't have apparitions all the time, we don't have the stigmata. You know, we're just normal people living day to day, trying not to do super bad stuff. And we know we're far from perfect, and we're probably distracted and dissatisfied in our spiritual lives. Not saint material. But be encouraged, for though this goal seems very far off and unattainable, it is not unattainable, it is in fact very, very obtainable, because, well, we were made for it. That's right, people. Every little fiber of your being was designed for an all-consuming, extravagant love for God and a reckless abandon to His will. That's actually really comforting to me, because sainthood isn't something that we have to achieve, that is outside of us. It's something intrinsic to our being that with our cooperation with God, we can realize. That being said, this realization is not going to be easy. It's going to be really, really, really hard, and we're going to face things that are really hard to do. They seem impossible to do, and we're gonna try them and we're gonna fail, and we're gonna be lying on our backs in a pile of sin and looking up the mountain of holiness and thinking, how is this possible? How am I gonna do this? How are you gonna do this? You were made to do this. This is your thing. You're a little baby mountain goat climbing up the mountain of holiness. All we need is some practice. So here we go, 5 tips on how to climb the mountain of holiness and achieve your full potential as a grown-up mountain goat. Number 1, you have to want it. Lucky for us, even if we don't want it, but we do want it, we can pray for the grace to desire it, and God will gladly oblige. Number 2, we have to trust that it's possible. We look at ourselves and we see our weakness and we see our sin and we see our surroundings and we're like, this is never gonna happen. No, it is gonna happen, but you have to rely totally on grace, and that's sometimes hard to do because we like to do things ourselves, and when we can't do things ourselves, then we're like, oh, impossible. Nope, grace. Number 3, being a saint in our everyday, today lives generally is not gonna have to do with huge, massive things. We have to work on the little things and perfecting ourselves in the mundane. So you can start with the obvious things, reoccurring sins, bad habits. Figure out what the root of the problem is there. It's generally 1 or 2 bigger sins that you have to deal with. Find it, deal with it. That wasn't really specific. You should probably talk to a priest about it or search for some other help, but really try and get to the root of the problem to get that eradicated. The little sins a lot of the time seem insignificant, it doesn't really matter, I'm basically a good person, but they matter a lot. The little sins sap the energy from you and prevent you from getting as much grace as you can from, well, everything. So to be strong, you've got to get rid of those, and, well, you have to be strong to get rid of them, so it's a cycle of grace. Just ask for grace. Number 4, mortification. I don't know how to title this one. Basically, you need to mortify your appetites so that you're not listening to your body as much as you are listening to the will of God. Because your body can be really loud sometimes. Something we might not consider such a little sacrifice would be getting out of bed right on time in the morning. But seriously, if you can do that, that is a huge achievement of the will over the body. So it's a really, really good exercise. Another sacrifice could be holding your tongue when your art teacher is critiquing your art and telling you to do things that you were just about to do anyway, you just hadn't gotten there yet, and humility, important. So you're on your way, you're doing these little things, you're kind of getting a bit stronger, and you're like, alright, yeah, I'm a good person now. No! Don't think that way. Never, ever, ever be content where you are in your spiritual life. The point is, you can always, always go further. You can always climb higher, and these little things, they're just like the little pebbles at the bottom that you, as a little baby mountain goat, are hopping on to practice. We always need to be paying attention to how we can possibly give ourselves more generously to God. So, 5 tips for becoming a saint quicker. You have to desire sanctity. You gotta trust that you can attain it. You gotta focus on your little sins a lot. You gotta offer up sacrifices to mortify yourself and pay closer attention to God. And you never, ever, ever grow complacent and say, it's all right where I'm at. You gotta ask for the grace to do all of this because, of course, we can do nothing on our own, and just persevere and keep at it and take life day to day and you'll be great. Always remember, people, you can climb the mountain. You were made to climb the mountain. You are a mountain goat. Bye!